Hi, I'm Peace from The Perfect Peace. It's progressively getting worse.
The introductions, he means, it's progressively. We filmed probably about 3 videos. One of them was completely sidetracked by the idea of introductions. So I'll post that below if you really want to see it. But he's talking about this, the introductions are getting progressively worse because he doesn't know how to do the introduction to a video. We're still working on the logistics. I embrace the quirky. I figure it's a autism awareness world, so I'm just going to
gotta love the sitcom character.
Let him show his autism up one end and down the other, and this is Peace and all of his realness. Okay, so anyways, the point of us sitting here right now, having a conversation, is what has autism taught you?
And I don't have like 50 answers because I don't feel like autism is okay. Like some people get like diabetes and like they say it as like, I'm gonna become a healthy man now. Look at these mascles, and like they.
Okay, can you talk like you've actually been to
muscles and
like you've actually been.
Muscles.
Thank you to English class. This is my world, you guys. I swear, he mispronounces things all the time. And if you don't know him, you think he just doesn't know how to talk. The truth is, he just thinks it's funny to say things like mascles or whatever it was.
I actually got used to saying muscles, and now I actually...
Yeah, but you didn't start with muscles. You started with, like, mascles or something.
Because I was trying to say the weird thing even weirder.
Okay, so anyways, so some people get diabetes and they're like, I'm going to be healthy, look at these muscles.
Look at these muscles, and then it's like... that it's like this enlightening experience, but I don't feel like autism is completely that. I feel like you learn some stuff, like a big thing you learn about it is, and you should know this anyway, but like not everyone is the same in any sense. Like people are like, oh, everyone's the same a little bit, but like autism has such a big spectrum and every case is different. Like no two are alike.
But what has autism taught you, like, as a person? Not necessarily about autism, but in life. What has it taught you?
One of the things is just embrace the quirky. I'm weird. I accept it. And other people are weird. They accept it. Then you accept it. And then it's this whole fun party of weirdness.
I love that because I was actually thinking about what my reaction vlog was going to be for this video, and that is one of the things that I came up with too that autism has taught me. So I love that, like, we're on the same wavelengths.
Yeah. And like, I don't know how to word things.
Try your best.
Okay.
Cool. I'll help translate if I need to. With the heater going really loud in the background, I'm sorry if you can hear it.
Stop talking.
It doesn't listen. Okay, keep going.
I guess sometimes you... Oh, there's an easy way to word this. Think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
If you can. Like, for me, there's barely a box. There is a box. But it's just like one of those crates that has holes in it and you can stick your finger through. The ones that they bring milk cartons in school.
Oh, okay, yeah, milk crates.
Yeah, and it's like that.
That's actually a name for them?
Oh. I thought they were just whole boxes. And so, like, have a box, because sometimes boxes are necessary, but think outside the box, because that can help you in so many situations, and give you new situations that turn into stories. But whatever, who cares? Just think outside the box, and you can help a lot of things, make things easier.
So, can I ask you a question that might be a little confusing to some people? If you don't know, our backstory is that when Peace was 4 years old, I took him to get evaluated, and we drove 45 minutes to this children's hospital, They spent an entire day testing him, one test after another, and at the end of the day, I had a doctor come in and say, oh, well, he's not autistic because he wants social interaction. If he didn't want social interaction, he'd be autistic.
Which is incorrect.
Right. Which is not, it's a stereotype, but it's not the case for a lot of people with autism. Anyway, so they said he's ADHD with about 20 other possible diagnoses that they weren't going to give me, including anxiety disorders, possible OCD. It was ridiculous. Years later, after me seeking a lot of other opinions and doing my research and saying, I don't think this is ADHD, doesn't make sense to me, when autism kind of encompasses all of the symptoms, I was told that I was pushing a diagnosis, and then upon leaving that doctor, again, months later, we found somebody else who explored a number of other options, and then came back with autism is the only one that really seems to explain and encompass everything that we were experiencing. So at that point, he was going into 6th grade, and he was changing schools, and we were really excited because it was a really fresh start, and we could stop dealing with this group of people who had decided we're terrible parents, and he was just ADHD and a hyper kid and a behavior child, which is basically what they had labeled him, in hopes of finding people who would listen to the fact that there was more to him and there was more going on. So with that in perspective, for you, did things change for you when you got that diagnosis, as far as like what you learned about yourself and about the world around you and those life lessons? Like, did those alter upon getting the diagnosis, or was it just the same and the autism was just, okay, now that's what it is?
It was kind of both.
Okay, can you explain that?
It's like, it was kind of like, oh, I'm autistic now. That's cool. I'm hungry. And
you weren't hungry. You didn't eat then.
True. I was probably hungry.
I don't know. It was a battle to get you to eat 2 bites at dinner time every night. It was terrible. You could count your ribs without trying. You would just stand there with no shirt on. You could be like 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down your side.
Did I ever miscount my ribs? That's a conversation for another time.
I don't know. Okay, the changes.
It was kind of like, oh, that's a thing now. And it was also kind of like, whoa, that's a thing now.
So you don't feel like it was like this great epiphany and you walked away like, I understand the world better.
The world.
And yeah, like you don't feel like there was anything like that. It was just
has opened.
13 eyes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I lived my whole life with just the one on the top just closed, and then I was like, wow.
That means when I tell you you're going to find something, it should not be that hard. You have 13 eyes. Okay, besides that. Like, so you just kind of feel like everything came... It was kind of... later in time. And
it was kind of more like the feeling of putting a puzzle together. And that last puzzle piece... just fits, and you're like,
is that just the best analogy you got, or is like that purposely thought out because of autism and peace?
Thought out, but that's what I think of. And it's like, this doesn't look like a picture, and then you're like, puzzle piece, and you're like, wow, it's a koala. That's not how puzzles work. So
you just kind of felt more complete with that understanding, and then the rest of things came as we learned to navigate autism and help you thrive and succeed better.
A thing I'm learning from autism, and I'm still learning, is you gotta kind of just be determined with stuff. And
be determined, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, like, autism, like, so definitely in more so in some cases other than mine, but like it'll like throw stuff at you and it's like, ha, now you have to jump over this hurdle, and you're like, bloop, cool. But like you can't like give up at the hurdle because then you're gonna fall. I don't know why you're.
So it's like you gotta jump over this hurdle, this hurdle, and you go bloop.
Yeah.
And you hit the floor, and then you stand up, and you're like, I gotta try again. And you go bloop, and then you hit the floor again, and then like maybe the 20th time, you finally like, go bloop. Cool.
And then you majestically do a backflip over it, and you're like, wow, thanks, Charlie Sheen.
What does Charlie Sheen have to do?
I don't know.
Okay, now that we are all thoroughly confused and have lost our ability to speak like a normal human being, let's just, in closing, so you're still learning from autism every day, is what it sounds like, and you've learned to embrace the quirky and be yourself, and to just keep trying, because amazing things are possible when you don't give up.
I'm gonna correct something, and
please
you said you learn a new thing every day, and it's like, I wish I could say that.
Well, you're still learning. You're learning from autism every day, whether or not it's just verifying something that you've already learned, or you've found some new great epiphany.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is true.
That is true? Okay.
That is true.
So we're going to close off. This is probably the longest video that we have made. I'm sorry. I try to keep it under 10 minutes, but as you can tell, my son and I we talk, and we sidetrack, and we laugh at each other, and
I spoke a word.
We have fun. So on that note, we are going to see you later. We hope to be back next week with another video if he doesn't hurt himself.
I like caught my pinky and it like stretched and doesn't feel good.
Okay, so as long as he's still in one piece, we will be back again with some more The World According to Peace, and get an insight as to what is happening in that crazy head of his. So I will post a link when I get my blog written, my reaction to this video and what I have learned from autism. Please go ahead and check that out. And until next time.
Bye. I don't know if you realized, but you said still in one piece.